Hello, this is a video for you, Mr. Giles. I don't know why I'm making this. Don't know if I'm going to post it. Don't know if it'll be any good. Don't know if it'll be of any value. But I felt the need to pick up my Black Mesa mug from Half-Life. Get all the shite from my, apparently here in Scotland, I don't know if it's the same down your way, Thursday is junk mail day. They obviously do this because it works, but I have literally never in my life looked through any of this shite. The only stuff I ever look through is from like Go Outdoors, because I'm a member of theirs and they send a thing in once a month, or Tesco because they send my club card points. Anyway, Giles, how the devil are you, young man? You seem to be doing okay, and I just thought I would have a chat. I thought I would have a chat with Giles. Primarily because I have enjoyed your videos now for a long time. I have watched pretty much every video you've posted since you introduced yourself on Vloggerheads. You made a couple of videos, and I have followed you closely ever since. I have commented, as you know, publicly and privately, and yeah, I got quite a lot out of your numbered series. Was particularly useful for me because of a family member, and it gave me an insight into a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even have thought of. And because you articulate things very well, it was very useful. So anyway, all that aside, I just felt that you have given me and anyone who watches your videos so much that I would turn on the camera and throw out some word vomit in your general direction. So I made a comment on your last video, or last but one, is that a term? When the big scary debt collector came to your door. And yeah, it sounds as though I had made the comment that it might just be the reboot that you needed. And it sounds that way. I mean, I've just watched your most recent video, your Happy for the Job Hunt video, and it seems to have given you a bit of a hard reset, I think, to continue the reboot analogy, and that's good, I think. Obviously you would much rather never have got to that situation. You would much rather have, you know what I mean, but you know, we only are where we are because of where we've been, and you are where you are, and you seem to be in a good place, and however you get there doesn't really matter. I was an employer of people for 15 years. I was a retail manager. I ran stores, electrical retail for 12 years, 10 years, 11, 12, round about that. And I worked for an off-licence chain, Haddo's or Victoria Wines. They're no longer around. I worked with them for a few years as well, and I managed multiple stores and different things. And you had said about people who were part of the rush hour thing. Yeah, I was part of the rush hour thing for 10 years. And it's fucking horrible if that you're doing it every day. But it's all about, and this is something a couple of points I picked out from your video. You know, you'd said about people being miserable in their jobs. Yeah, something I have learned in my 48 years on this planet, almost 49, is if you don't, you're very, very rarely are people going to absolutely love their jobs. But if you don't absolutely hate it, you are ahead of the game. And that has got next to nothing to do with the job. It's almost always about frame of mind and perspective. And I think you're right. You had said something about using your naivete to your advantage, and I think you're 100% correct, because you don't have that jadedness with the rat race. I may link to a video below this. It just came to mind. It's a guy I absolutely adore called Scroobius Pip, and it's called Rat Race. Anyway, I'll maybe put that below this video and you can listen to it and let me know what you think. But to give you an analogy, I have had my taxi licence since 1989, since I was 19. And for 7 years I drove taxis full time from the age of 19 to 26. Then my daughter was born and I didn't want to be working weekends and stuff, and I hated it. At that time, I stopped driving taxis and started working in retail, and I swore I would never drive taxis again. I hated it. I detested it. Every shift was a chore. It was just hell. So I was determined that I wanted a job that was more or less 9 to 5. Didn't have to be Monday to Friday, but just working through the day because I was sick of working in the evenings. So I went into retail. A couple of years in retail, and I was a manager. I was a manager within 2.5 years, something like that. Thereabouts. I was managing my own store within 2 years, I believe, and then on my 4th year, I was given another 2 stores, and then the year after that, I think I was given another 2. So eventually, I was managing 5 stores all over Scotland. Well, all over the west of Scotland, from Lanarkshire, where I live, to Ayrshire on the west coast, and it was great. For a while, I had a lot of get up and go about me. I had the briefcase and the shirt and tie, and I certainly had a lot of oomph about me. But within a few years, that get up and go got up and went, and I started to resent the job. But it was paying a wage. My daughter was young. I was making good money, I have to say. I was successful. I was good at my job. I was then made redundant. They closed all their stores, the company I worked for, and started working in the off-licence trade. I should probably have taken a break from retail at that point, but because I was given my redundancy check, I seen the opportunity to start working again straight away so that money could get banked or used or whatever. I very, very quickly realised, within a matter of weeks, that was the wrong move, and by this point I was very jaded. I was sick of it. I was sick of the early mornings. I was sick of the rush hour, the commuting, the having to book your holidays way in advance, having to justify if you're ill, having to justify it, all that stuff. I was sick of it. But I stuck it out, and around that time, between the transition between the 2 jobs, myself and my daughter's mother separated. So money was tight. And I still had my taxi badge. I kept my taxi licence. I renewed it every 3 years just in case. Done the odd shift here and there, but never really put any time in. My stepfather I sat down with my mother and my stepfather, and I broke down in tears because I was struggling financially. And my stepfather said, "Why don't you just start doing regular shifts on the taxi?" And I done that. And I done that for a number of years, and then I eventually left the retail job that I was in because I'd had enough, and went and worked in a contact centre answering phones. Hated that. Done that for 5 years. And when I left there, I'd had enough, and I left there and started working, driving taxis full time again. And I've been doing that now for almost 9 years, self-employed, and I love it now. I wouldn't say I love it. There's nights you go out a Friday and a Saturday night and it can be a bit of an arse, but you know, I can't imagine doing any other job. I am not well off. I am earning less money now than I was when I was in retail or working in the contact centre, but I have next to no bills now. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have an extravagant lifestyle. I have almost zero debt. I will have zero debt by February of next year. And a couple of £100 a week is more than enough for me to live on and pay my bills and do all that stuff. So that's 10 minutes to make the point that it's all about perspective. You know, you will hear people say, don't get caught in the rat race, don't this, that. It all depends on your previous experience. You know, I'm doing a job now that I done full time when I was 26 and hated it, and now I absolutely love it. And it's because of the experiences I had between those times and the perspective I had. When I was young, when I was 19, the only perspective I really had done a couple of jobs. I've worked since I left school at 15, and I've never ever not worked. I've always worked. I've done some shite jobs, but I've always worked. And yeah, it's all about the perspective and the previous experience, you know. Now the fact that I am self-employed, the fact that I can more or less do whatever shifts I please, I can come in and out the house whenever I like. I don't feel as if I have a job. I don't. If I want a week off, I just take a week off. Obviously, I don't get paid for it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know. But it's all about perspective and situation. The situation you're in and the perspective you have. The situation I'm in is I don't need to earn a lot of money to live. So working a job like driving taxis, you don't have to be chasing the money. So that makes it inherently more enjoyable. And the perspective I have is I know what it's like to work to targets, to have to justify sickness time, to book holidays in advance, to get up in the morning and know you have to be at a particular place at a particular time. When you're there having your 15-minute break and your half-hour lunch and watching the clock all day, I just don't have that now. Now that's the thing, and the point I'm trying to make is I make that sound like a total arse of a thing to be doing and terrible. But that's just because I've done it for so long, and that's the perspective I have. There's guys I know who wouldn't dream of driving a cab. They would much rather get up in the morning and clock in and do their job and get paid an hourly rate rather than have to make their money. So, yeah, again, 13 minutes to basically say that you are 100% correct in the outlook that you currently have. The whole thing about, you know, using your naivety to your advantage. Yes, because there are lots of guys your age who are already jaded with whatever job they are in, and you're going to go in fresh. I also think, from your point of view, you are... Obviously, we only see this type of communication, and you're very good at it. So I can't speak to how you are face-to-face in groups of people. But I think that given the opportunity to work in some store, game, or a, you know, CEX, or I don't know, Primark, whatever, you know, wherever you may end up, Tesco, Co-op, working, scanning items in Co-op, I think you would be an amazing member of staff, because I think your interaction with the customers would be phenomenal because of the way you are. So I think it'll be good for that. I think it'll be good for your mental health, because it's getting you out of the house every day. I think it would be amazing for your social circle, because you will be able to have people who are more of an acquaintance, that you just have these daily interactions with, but they don't really mean very much. So yeah, I think it will be phenomenal for you. Now, obviously, there is the whole thing about any anxiety or anything that you may have. You're going to know yourself better than anyone. But as an outsider looking in, I think it will do wonders for your self-esteem. It'll do wonders for your bank balance, obviously. It'll do wonders for your social circle. Yeah, best of luck, buddy. The best of luck. I'm actually excited for you. And also, there was a couple of other things I was going to talk about, but it's bloody 15 minutes already. Another thing you had said about filling out applications and also doing it old school, 100% agree with that. There is still, as someone who worked in that environment, obviously when I left retail, well, I also helped a little bit with recruitment when I was involved in the contact centre. I helped out a little with recruitment and training and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, most applications for jobs now are done online. And one of the big reasons for that is lots of bigger companies, bigger organisations will use recruitment firms rather than devote resources to recruiting. And a lot of these recruitment firms will use, like Indeed, I think is the big one just now. Job Centre Plus was the one when I was looking for work at one point. But anyway, however, lots of local independent, like as the Americans would call it, mom and pop stores, they don't have the resources to do that type of thing. And they would still, I think, they would still react very favourably to you walking in with a CV and say, listen, I appreciate that you may not have a position at the moment, but could you please keep me in mind if you do? It never hurts to put yourself out there. And I, for one, back when I was at the height, when I had my 5 stores, the majority of the people we employed were people who had just come into the store and left their CV with us. Now, that was before there was employment legislation that changed during that time, where organisations over a certain size had to have a uniformed recruitment policy across all their stores. You had to ask structured questions, and the big thing that changed was not only did you have to justify to your employers why you employed a particular person over another person, you also had to have a metric, whatever the word is, a scale. You had to have a scale so that if someone you didn't give a job to came back and asked for feedback as to why they didn't get the job, you had to successfully explain to them where they had either went wrong or why another person was more suited. But small independent stores don't really have that problem, so it could be, it doesn't have to be a store, obviously, it can be a warehouse, it can be, but any smaller organisation would be, I think, very receptive to you walking in with a CV. And who knows, you could walk in somewhere and hand over your CV and have a chat with the people, and they might not be employing, but they might know someone who is. And I know I'm probably telling you things you already know, but yeah, I think I'm very excited for you. Genuinely, I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't have made a 20-minute video if I wasn't. So yeah, good luck, Giles, and I mean that. Best of luck, and if you can, keep us posted. It's always nice when we get a notification to say you've made a video. For me, anyway, gives me something to watch while I'm washing my dishes. So yeah, I think 20 minutes is more than enough. There was another couple of points I was maybe going to touch on, but yeah, I am optimistic for you. I am hopeful. I have no doubt you'll find something. I also have no doubt that once you get out there, you may find that you'll go through a couple of jobs before you find something that suits you. But the most immediate thing, obviously, is just to get that fabulous face out there. That's what to do, Giles. Get that fabulous face and beautiful mane out into that workplace and knock them dead, my friend. Knock them dead. Right, I'm going to get some chores done. Laundry to do, dishes to wash, and I'm going to listen to Every Valley by Public Service Broadcasting on my record player in the corner there. There's the cat up there catching some rays. So yeah, best of luck, man, and keep us updated, and I'll speak to you later. Cheers.